Last year, we ran a Kickstarter to create a course for the Godot game engine, an intermediate level course, something that would go a little beyond the step-by-step tutorials you find most of the time on other platforms, and that other tutors would probably do better than me. And at that time, I made one promise: to release the full source code for the game that would come from the course, open source, to release it for free completely. So it's out now, it's under the MIT license, and you can go try it on GitHub. So links in the description on the screen. This game has fairly complex UI, a few elements that are going to be quite interesting for you, I think. You have a shop system that you can use for RPG games. You can buy items with a given amount. You have money in your purse that you manage. You can see it update on the screen right now. You have a full character based on a state machine. You also have monsters as stateful objects that do have states, but that are a bit simpler than the player. Motion, collisions, everything handled that you'd expect in a game, as well as a few shaders, transitions, a map loader, a system to have continuous music between levels. You also have this boss that you can fight. You have the full encounter with phases. There again, it's using a finite state machine, a fairly, I don't know if we can say complex one, but the boss has multiple phases. It has sequences that are not unlike sequences in a behavior tree. You have also a pause menu. You do have a few options, like you can change the audio volume on the fly. This is all directly connected to Godot's UI system, where you have separate channels for the music, the game's sounds, the world sounds, and the interface. This is the first open source game project on GDQuest. I invite you to go get the code, so I'm not going to give an overview right now because it's fairly complex. You have many interconnected systems. If I just show you the player scene, for example, you can see there are quite a few nodes, one for each state. There's a system to take hits and damage other monsters using this hitbox node and a damage source on the swords that the character is currently holding here. You have a shaking camera where you can have screen shake when you take a hit. You also have that health node that is a base for a stats system in an RPG game. I showed just that thing, having the ability to add and remove stat modifiers on Twitter some time ago. It's integrated in here. If you want to help improve that mini game, you can open issues on GitHub and you can contribute as well. You'll have to go through the source code, but I'll be there to help you. Now, things like visual improvements, animation, adding life to the world, doing some level design work, and giving feedback on the gameplay, also reporting and fixing bugs. That would be super helpful. Consider this a learning resource. That's the goal, at least, where you have lots of nodes and you can just go see the source to see how it's done, how it works, how health works, for example, in the game. And if you have any questions, please ask. I can make a few free tutorials about that. If you want to learn all the techniques used in that project, you can also get our course. This is a way to support us as well. A step-by-step course because, as I said, it's intermediate level. So there are things like the state pattern, for example, because it's a little abstract in itself. I'm teaching it in general. I've taken the time to make multiple videos and go in depth about it. But it's not the step-by-step course you are used to, for example, on Udemy, where you start the game from scratch and write every line of code with the tutor. Instead, at that level, you want to understand the principles that allow you to build certain game systems so that then you can apply them to your own game. The goal here is to help you become more independent with your code, as with many tutorials on the channel. And note that there will be more open source projects on GDQuest. The idea is to involve you in the creation process. Stay tuned because there's going to be one starting pretty soon. But that said, I want to thank you kindly for watching. Be creative, have fun, and we'll see one another in the next one. Bye-bye.